This is the new Cadillac CTS-V Coupe. There's a lot to like about this car. For starters, it's a Cadillac CTS, which happens to be one of my favorite cars, period. Second of all, really looks cool. Now, there are some sacrifices with this car, and I'll tell you about those in a bit, as well as some of the fun stuff you get. The interior of the Cadillac CTS, I think, is just one of the best looking in the business, because there's a line of accent lighting that comes along right underneath this wood trim part. It looks really nice. And one of the nice features they have too is this screen here that goes up and down. In this case, you can go ahead and listen to some music or whatever you want to do. With the screen down, the controls work. You have buttons you can press right here. If you want to do, more detailed controls, you can raise it up. The V Performance package really suits this body style much better. I bet way more of the coupe buyers are going to get the V version than the sedan buyers. This just feels like an out-and-out performance car. And it really is a good one. I mean, you can feel that engine throbbing all the time. You've got terrific acceleration when you really put your foot in it and that supercharger comes on. There's an enormous boost of power. Steering is nice. I could use a little more feel to it, but, it's decent. It works pretty well. The suspension is adjustable. It's got sport and touring modes. In sport mode, firms things up, but it's still not objectionable. It's pretty good. And the transmission on this car, as with the base CTS, I think is really excellent. You do have some button shifters back here to downshift and upshift manually if you want to, but I always take it as a bad sign if I feel like I have to take over the shifting myself. This car does a great job on its own. The shifts are very well timed, whether you want to go fast through a turn, accelerate out of a corner, or just cruise down the highway. It's always doing the right thing at the right time, and it seems to know just what you want. Now, you can tell just from looking at this car that obviously you're going to lose some back seat space. It's actually not space-wise as bad as you might think. A little bit of leg room, a couple inches maybe of headroom. Now, one thing is, because they mounted the seat belts back here rather than on the seat, getting in and out is a little bit more awkward than it had to be. And I think it probably had to be pretty awkward anyway. So, yeah, there are some sacrifices you make for driving a car this shape, but, it is a lot of fun. Now, for me, I like some practicality with my performance. I'm waiting to see when they do the Cadillac CTS-V wagon.